Hundreds of Scots are among up to 10,000 British holidaymakers desperately waiting to be flown home from the Greek islands after devastating wildfires. Around 19,000 people have fled from the flames in Rhodes, while areas of Corfu have also been evacuated. Those caught up in the chaos have spoken of the race to escape the blazes. Some had to leave their belongings behind. With more, here's Brandon Cook.
Skies lit orange and thick plumes of smoke, the backdrop to a weekend of chaos on the usually idyllic island of Rhodes. The wildfires rip through homes and come close to apartments and hotels occupied by tourists. EasyJet is sending 3 rescue flights on top of the 9 scheduled services they already had. On one this afternoon was Jeff from Dundee, desperate to get over to help his family on the island.
It's going to be a mess, it's chaos, but you've got to help out, do the bit you can, that's all you can do. People say silly, but just got to get on with things, help them as best as we can.
Many tourists say they are frustrated by a lack of communication from travel companies. This morning, Jet2 cancelled flights to the island until Sunday, while TUI has suspended flights for today and tomorrow. As it stands, that means TUI's sold-out flight from Aberdeen to Rhodes, leaving here on Wednesday, is still going ahead. But in such a rapidly evolving situation, holidaymakers are being advised to regularly check with their holiday firm. There are still operators continuing flights to and from the island. Ryanair and British Airways say they're not cancelling any services. Luna and Daniel from Glasgow travelled to Rhodes on Saturday for their honeymoon. While they were anticipating high temperatures, the big problems became evident as soon as they arrived.
The family behind us were like, we're going to the same hotel as you, we think it's on fire. We're not going there, we're going to an evacuation centre. So then there was like a 20-minute bus ride and everyone was just trying to figure out what was happening and where we were going. The bus driver didn't say anything, he just started driving us. And then we got to this bit where we started going up one-way streets and cars were having to move out of the way to let us past. It was very post-apocalyptic, like quite scary. And there was kids behind us that were freaking out because they didn't know what was happening.
While efforts continue in Rhodes, firefighting operations and smaller evacuations are also underway in Corfu and Evia, islands so popular for their sunny weather, now feeling the consequences of an even hotter climate. Brandon Cook, STV News.
And Brandon joins me now in the studio. Brandon, this is obviously a very difficult situation. What advice are tourists getting?
Yeah, well, there's thought to be around 10,000 British tourists in Rhodes right now, and it's important to stress that not all of them are in any immediate danger or at risk of being evacuated. The fire is really focused around the centre of the island right now, stretching right down to the southern coast. So it's really in those areas where we're seeing this max exodus. Of course, for those who were forced to flee, this was no doubt a very frightening ordeal. There's still Scots over there at the moment stuck in airports or in makeshift shelters trying to work out exactly how or when they're going to make it home. We've heard numerous complaints from travellers on the ground in Rhodes complaining about the airline's communications, saying that it simply hasn't been good enough. Some say that they've been left to deal with this whole situation on their own. Today we heard from the UK Prime Minister. He said that his government are monitoring the situation closely.
Paramount priority is the safety of British nationals, and that's why the Deputy Prime Minister chaired a COBRA meeting yesterday. He's been monitoring the situation closely. We've been in touch with local authorities on the ground there, and the Foreign Office have sent a rapid deployment team on the ground to assist people. I think the most important thing is people remain in touch with their tour operators. There are lots of flights going back and forth to be able to bring people home, and if people are in touch with their tour operators, they'll get the information that they need.
And Brandon, what hope do tourists have of receiving any compensation?
Yeah, well, repatriation efforts are underway. Flights are being arranged as we speak. And for those on package deals covered by the holiday trade body ABTA, there is hope of getting at least a third of the price you paid back from the airline. For those on flight-only deals, that's when things get a bit trickier. It really does vary from airline to airline. So yes, support, both physical and financial, is available, but for those, of course, who are in this situation, help can't come quickly enough.
Brandon, thank you.